I tested 3 or 4 open source filaments, and I ran into this problem here. The hatchbox filament comes on a spool which is about a half a millimeter to at most 1 millimeter too wide to easily fit into the cartridge space here. And what I found out was that it wasn't actually a problem hitting the plastic here. There was this metal bar, retaining bar for the cartridge over here on the side that was causing the problem. So I'm going to show you how I made a modification to fix this. Now this portion is for the moderate tinkerers. I take no responsibility for any warranty problems you have or damage you cause to your unit. After you've unplugged and turned off the unit, take out this 1 Phillips screw on the bottom of the right hand side. Use a plastic spudger or possibly a credit card or a small thin screwdriver and very carefully push straight in at the locations I'm showing you. Don't go in too far. There's 3 little tabs here and you'll snap them off if you push in too far. Just push them in and the back should pop off. You can look in there and see what you're doing. Open the door in the front and start swinging this open. There's a hook on the top as well. Very, very carefully do this. You notice the top came out here, the bottom didn't. You may have to swing this out further or less, but don't jam on it. You'll break off the little tab down there. Be very, very careful on this. I'm going to show you where these little tabs are so you don't break them off. I'm telling you, there's one here which was at the bottom, and then there's one in the center and the one at the top. I have this way. And the ones on the front as well. Don't break your little tabs off. You'll be disappointed. There's one at the top here too. And I think there's one at the bottom as well, and the ones on the side. The maximum size for an open source spool is 213 millimeters in diameter and about 67 millimeters wide. And these hatchbox spools are like 67.5 to 68. So they're just slightly too wide. So we can see that what's causing it is this metal bar. And it's used to guide the Sindoh cartridges in here and hold them in place. A Phillips screwdriver will make quick work of these 4 screws holding this bar in place. So I designed and printed some spacers for the top and bottom of this bar that'll fit where these screws are. And it's actually pretty simple. I have a key here that fits into the slot. So just fit that in there and attach this. Do this one first. And then the bottom one, there's a little spot here as well. And there's a tab behind here. You have to fit it in, but it's very obvious once you see there's only one way it should go. Line that up and insert the screw in that one. Make sure these little keys are lined up in the holes, and then just finish off your screws. Now that these keys are lined up and everything's put back, everything's held out several millimeters from the spool so you can see it moves nice. There's just enough gap in here, just enough space between that bar and the spool that allows it to spin without contact. With the front door open, carefully, did I mention carefully, align these tabs, which you don't want to break off, in these little slots and swing the door back towards the back. Make sure this rear seam is flush and reinstall the Phillips screw on the side. With this modification, I'm now able to successfully slide these wide open source spools in and out. One final note, which is somewhat optional, I eased the edge of these support brackets, which push up against the side of the spool. I just took a metal file and filed them down ever so slightly, and it gave me a better fit, and the black part of the spool did not slide on here when closed.